Hi, friends, and welcome to week 2 of our Integrate Challenge. I'm so excited to be back here with you for our mind-body connection week. Now, last week we learned all about awareness, and this week we're going to really start applying these ideas of radical self-love as well as curiosity and kindness when we start learning about ourselves, our human experience, and the mind-body connection that we have within. This is going to be a really fun week. We're going to learn a lot about ourselves, why we do the things we do, and I'm super excited for today's class. Let's check out what we're going to do inside today's class. Today, I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite teachers, Tony Robbins. You might have heard of him before. He's really big in the personal development world. He's a motivational speaker, author, writer, and he is absolutely amazing at creating long-lasting, profound transformation within people's lives. There's a fun documentary, if you're not familiar, I don't know if it's a documentary, maybe more of a film about him on Netflix called I Am Not Your Guru, which I have my own takes on. But as far as his teachings and some of his concepts that he really portrays, really amazing things in the world of personal development, psychology, and especially coaching. I would say Tony Robbins might be one of the grandfathers of coaching as we know it today. Definitely one of the revolutionaries in the field who brought this idea of coaching and mentorship into our current paradigm, our current world that we see today, where coaching is just seems like it's all over the place. I would say when Tony Robbins started his work, that definitely was not the case. What we're going to learn today inside today's class is about the state triangle, which is a Tony Robbins concept. I'll describe that your state consists of 3 elements. Within that triangle is your physiology, your focus, and the meaning that you assign to things or the language that you use. We'll look at all of those elements independently, and then we're going to move on to your daily activity for today. Your homework is going to be figuring out what your state triangle is when you wake up in the morning. Let's get to the next lesson and start looking at what a state actually is. So your state, according to Tony Robbins, your state really affects your behavior. He says that your behavior is not the result of your ability, but it's the result of the state that you're in at any given moment. What does that mean even further? Let's break this down a little bit. Your state, let's say if you're agitated and you had a rough day at work and inside of your whole body, everything is already feeling off, and then you get cut off in traffic, and then you come home to your kids screaming, and then you end up snapping at your husband, right? It seems like everything just cascades down. All of these other factors influenced your state, which led you to behaving a certain way because you were already agitated, because you were frustrated. You ended up snapping at your husband over a simple question. Just an example, right? It doesn't have to be exactly that way. Another aspect of how this works in reverse would be, let's say you're first falling in love. Lovey-dovey first date energy, everything's absolutely awesome, first month energy, and then the red flags come out. But because your state is butterflies and rainbows and daisies and you feel so good and you're so in love, overly extensive into compassion, kindness, what do? You look past all of the red flags and actually maybe put yourself in a position that you won't be comfortable in later on, right? So your state is what's going to affect your ability to make decisions, the behaviors that you choose, the actions that you choose, much more so than, let's say, theoretically understanding that, hey, I shouldn't have snapped at my husband, or possibly maybe this isn't the perfect date for me, given all these red flags logically, right? Our ability logically to kind of see things versus what we actually do. Tony Robbins also says on the next page here, see, your state also determines your perceptions of reality and therefore your decisions and your behaviors. So basically, it's that same concept, right? When we have a certain perception of reality, how things should be, what we want things to be like, when we're, let's say that Same example at work. We believe that work should be easy and flow and everybody should work together. And yet our boss is angry and mad and not listening to us and therefore deflects that on us. And because we associated with, hey, this shouldn't be this way, we get agitated, we get frustrated, and we get into that pattern as we're driving home, so on and so forth, up until the argument with our husband, right? So our perception of reality is going to determine so much about our behaviors. Now, overall, our state triangle looks like this. There's 3 different elements to our state triangle. The first is going to be our physiology, our emotions, feelings, the way we are inside of our bodies. 2 is our focus. What are you focused on? What are you thinking about? What's constantly on your mind? And 3 is the meaning, the language that we assign to things. Let's explore all of these further. So first we have physiology. That is what you do with your body and how you feel, how you generally feel inside of your body. Now, what I want to say is when you are looking at your physiology, one of the ways that you can really manipulate your state in a minute, like some hacks that I have for you, interruptions, is create the physiology in your body of how you want to feel, right? We did this on our group coaching call this past week when I asked, what does it look like when someone wins a race? And right away we go, hands up, everybody has the same reaction. We're celebrating, we're powerful, we're big, we're present, we take up space, we take up room. That's physiology. As soon as you do this motion right here, you feel powerful right away. I'll tell you guys, I used to be really, really, really good at landing interviews. I go in for a job interview and I just know in my confidence in my body that I was going to land the interview. And I really had a really easy time landing jobs that I wanted all throughout the time until I was an entrepreneur, right? And went to actually get interviewed. And one of the things I used to do in my car, I heard this from like an interview hack or motivational, speech. But even back in the day, I used to sit in my car and do winner power poses in my car before going into the interview as if I already landed the job, right? Whoa, powerful, excited. Yes, I won, being big, being present. It looks much different than being very sad, for example. Our physiology, closing down, feeling small, right? When someone looks really sad, you could see it in their muscles, you can see it in their shoulders, their neck, their body. The whole system becomes affected, and you can really see that in the body language. Same thing with anxiety. We can see, the tapping of the feet. I know I pick at my fingernails still, and my cuticles is something that can represent anxious behavior. That's our state, the actual physical representation of what our inner state is, the whole triangle. Gratitude also looks a different way. I made a video this past weekend and I was just walking my dog in the woods with so much gratitude in my heart for events, things going on, and just life in general, just being alive and in nature and around my dog and working with new clients and all of y'all. And I just felt it in my heart. And I was like, oh, I got to make a video. Like, this is what gratitude looks like. It feels like it's so open. It's so inviting. It's so relaxing. And gratitude wants to share, right? It's present. It's inviting. It's open. Again, inside your state. Curiosity is going to be different than, again, depression and so on and so forth. Some hacks for this part of hacking our state triangle. When it comes to our physiology, something Tony Robbins always said, and this is kind of even like when I start our group coaching with a little dance and a little movement, changing your state, changing your physiology can have a direct impact, direct effect on your state, on your mood, on what's going on. So we can do this in an instant. Get up, do some jumping jacks, run around, have fun, do a little dancing, singing, music, playing, even just getting up, moving your body, right? Taking up more space in front of this whiteboard that I'm trying to put close and balance myself around so you can read it. Being present, change the way we give presentations, the way we actually engage with our audience, but most importantly, how we feel within ourselves in our own state. Now, the thing about doing these hacks, like jumping up and down, or the other one that I like is, let's say for me, something that changes my state all the time is going to the gym. But it's really a habit. It's still a mind game for me. It requires a lot of mental energy for me to still get past that initial, whether it's yoga, swimming, unless it's like surfing or super fun hike. And even then, sometimes when I think about, oh gosh, this is going to be physically intense and hard, in order to pattern interrupt, get me into that state, get me going to the gym, it requires a lot of mental energy. And so this is the part where I want to start looking at the second part of our state. Why? Why does it require so much mental energy to do some of these bigger, more habitual pattern interrupters in our physiology, in our physical state? Let's see. So this question, why does it take so much energy to change my state, especially when it comes to forming habitual patterns, has got me to reach out and look at our second aspect of our state triangle, which is our focus. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll move this one up even more here a little bit. Hopefully, let's see that. Okay, hopefully you guys can engage with that. So focus, what are you, and I say always, thinking? Always is in parentheses because I know we're having so many different thoughts a day. But what do you usually think? What are you usually thinking? What are you usually thinking about? And especially when it comes to a particular topic. So let's see how this plays out. Focus in that example of getting myself up to go to the gym, even when I know it's going to be hard. The way I focus, my thinking about me going to the gym can go one of many ways, but I put out two examples here for us. And as you know, I love the model. So when you see a C and a T, it's always going to be something along the lines of, this way you can see me too, circumstance and your thought. So going to the gym as a habit for a better state in general. That's just a general circumstance. Now, I can have the thought, so fun. And if in that category of thoughts would be something like going to feel great, I know I'm going to love it, it's going to be hard to start, but fun to finish, right? And great, oh yeah, but even it could be superficial, right? I got new great gym clothes that I'm so excited to put on and wear because I look nice inside of my gym clothes, and it's, you know, this is going to be fun. I'll try to not write so small for next class. On the other hand, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard. I don't like the gym. I don't enjoy the gym. What I put, I don't want to go. People will look at me. I don't feel like it. I'm always too, there's always tomorrow, right? That's a really great one. Oh, I'll just start tomorrow. I don't want to go right now. And I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy to go to the gym. Well, those thoughts on so hard, your focus is going to determine how much energy it's going to take you to actually get up and go, to actually change your physiology. So if your thoughts are, you know what, this is going to be so fun, I'll get through the hard part, I'll get my runner's high, it's going to be amazing, at the end of the day, it's so healthy for me, it's going to require way less energy to do the things you want to do than if your thoughts are really, this is hard, this is impossible, I don't want to go, I don't want to do this. And this is why this is the second part of our state triangle, because we still need a third part. You see, automatically, most human beings have this so hard mentality be the default programming. That's what I wrote over here. We're always thinking to protect ourselves, to stay comfortable, to stay where we're at, right? So much easier to sit on the couch and watch Netflix than go to the gym. It just feels better. So our default programming is to be here. So even to change your thoughts, it's going to require still some energy. So where do we find that energy from? Let's look at the third part of our triangle to find out. The third part of the state triangle is what meaning and what language do we assign to things, to topics, to ideas in our life, right? So let's look at, again, the example of me going to the gym, but what's the bigger picture take myself out of it. This says, what's the bigger picture? Take me out. What do I believe about the topic, i.e., of people going to the gym? So that would look something like this, especially if we split it up in those same two categories. If I assign the meaning, if I believed about people who go to the gym in general, not myself, just people in general, that they are generally happier, that they have more energy, that they can be more active, that they have better health and better mood and increased better sleep because of exercising, I could see all of the benefits about going to the gym, right? My beliefs about going to the gym already feel open, lighter, more possible, more doable, more enjoyable. Whereas if my beliefs about just people who regularly go to the gym are something like, they wake up at 5 a.m. They never eat cookies. They didn't like their body, so they feel forced to go. And something like it's just a fad, right? It's not enjoyable. Then I would be so much more unmotivated. It would be not desirable to pursue any way of going to the gym, wanting to play in that direction, experience, explore the gym. And so the meaning that I assign to going to the gym might change my state altogether when it comes to wanting to get up, pursue exercise, and going to the gym, as just one example. But really, now in this next part, I want you to think about states as the greater aspect of not just this example of going to the gym, but of your life in general. What state do we usually find ourselves in? To determine your most natural, neutral state, for the most part, without thinking about it for a particular topic or for a particular activity, I want you to think about your morning state. Just for now, what is your usual morning state? Now, remember all of the things that we did from last week, the way that we learned about curiosity and awareness and kindness and non-judgment. So we're not doing this to shame or blame ourselves, but it is such a nice exercise to know how we generally feel about life, about ourselves, about our day, about our activities. So for example, I remember, I would say 3-4 years ago, before I really started deeply doing this work, I would wake up with deep anxiety. My physiology in the morning would be small. I'd want to curl up, get right back in bed. I didn't want to get out of bed. I oftentimes would wake up and cry due to different things, depression, and a lot of the thoughts in my mind first thing in the morning, right? And when I started looking at that actual physiology within the first 10-15 minutes of my day, I would realize that the focus would be, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay the bills? I am not happy with my job. I can't believe I just went through another stupid relationship that didn't work out, right? Like all the things, I'm always going to be lonely, yada, yada, yada. And you have the weight of the world on your shoulders first thing in the morning, all the things you have to do, all the places you have to be, how unhappy you are. Do you have to go there right away? Of course, it makes sense that I want to close up and not be happy in the morning in that first 15 minutes of my day. And then number 3, what meaning, language did I assign to my day, to waking up, to living life this day? Right. And again, it was hard. It's pointless. What's even the point? No one likes me. It's going to be just like before. I hate my job. I hate where I am. I hate who I am, blah, 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 blah. And the meaning that I assigned to life was that I was not worth living, basically, that I was too out there. I wasn't going to be able to figure it out or give back or participate or, be a productive member of society, that I'd always be an outcast, that I wouldn't be appreciated or loved or enjoyed. That was my meaning that I assigned. And so that was my morning state. If you can imagine how my days went, day after day after day, waking up in that arena, right? In that arena, in that home within myself, they weren't the most pleasant of days. I'll put it that way. On the other hand, now, when I notice myself waking up, now, obviously I still stress out. I have bad days, things that happen, but with the work that I've been doing, especially being conscientious of this and really trying this work out first thing in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, my physiology is open, right? I mean, not always, but it's usually that stretch, that getting up with the sun, or my dog barking me or barking with me, or getting snuggling closer to me. And usually the first thing that I think and do and focus on is thank you. Thank you for another breath. Thank you for another day. Thank you to be alive. My puppy ends up being right with me, and I usually end up cuddling with my puppy for just a couple moments, really soaking in the day and breathing in thanks. Thanks for life and enthusiasm to it and enjoying it. And the reason I do that is because of the meaning that I'm assigning, the language. What is life? My new understanding for life, how I can give back. It's another day to contribute. It's another day to serve and be of service to others who might be going through what I was going through a few years ago, and teach them the things that got me out of this and understanding this pattern and paradigm, right? And for now, just on this class today, with awareness, with curiosity, maybe you're somewhere in between those two, right? Some days are meh, and some days you're like excited about life, but just in general, or maybe it's a mixture of both. Maybe you're super wake up excited to be with the kids and the family, but when it comes to thinking about finances and how we're going to pay the bills, that anxiety revs up, right? What's your general state that first 15, 20 minutes of the day? I want you to take just a few moments today, sit down, journal about it, create a triangle. Think about what's your physiology? How do you feel emotionally in your body? What's your focus? What are your thoughts? What do you usually think first thing in the morning? And then bring that all together. What meaning do you assign just to days in general, to life, to the meaning of life, to why are we even here in this class and wanting to do this work? And bring that homework with you to next class. And I cannot wait to teach you more about meaning, why we do the things we do, through an introspective look of discovering the 6 human needs within our bodies. It's going to be a really great class. I'll see you next time.